But okay, moving along. Let me see what else we got. I think this is the one. Yes, so now we got Shinsuke and LA Knight. All right, so I'm not going to talk about the match much. The match is in the description below, a link to it if you really need to see it. But the finishing move for Shinsuke, surprisingly, I guess that's like a running knee to the back of the head, it seems. And he won the match. So that got a big pop from us. We were like, whoa, that seemed to be like the only surprise of the night. Here's the crowd, kind of a little stunned.
Yeah.
But I guess the story was supposed to be sort of that LA Knight got misted, I think, on SmackDown?
SmackDown, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So maybe he was like a little off his game or something. So because of that. Okay, so Shinsuke Nakamura, the United States champion out of nowhere. And I think some people were throwing around the idea that this could happen. And the idea, and, I don't know, I was kind of skeptical that they would pull the trigger on that. But I think Shinsuke's work yesterday looked fantastic. Like he was back, and his work, not like the women, like the opposite. He looked professional. He was selling. His moves looked good, and he looked like he was in good shape. And I think this was pretty good. And I don't mind him getting this title because I just think that they need to kind of shake it up a little bit and have some title changes in that division. It's not the worst thing for LA Knight if you get, kind of has to come back and get this title back. But anyway, so what were our ratings for this? I gave it a thumbs up. I was the only one. And then you and Robert, seems like, gave it an Orange Cassidy. Kind of liked it, half unenthusiastic, half thumbs up. So who went first last time? I'm sorry, I'm losing track.
I think I did, so I guess I think so. Yes, I think Robert did.
Robert, so a minute and 30. I don't have to if you have to use the whole thing, but let's hear your thoughts on Nakamura going over.
All right. Well, first off, I want to say I do like Nakamura's new presentation. He looks different now, and he doesn't. The way he moves too, like especially in his ring entrance, he's not doing all those weird moves he used to do. He, like an actual normal walk to the rings. I like that. I think that's better for him. That he's changing things up. I feel a bit conflicted. Okay, because prior to his return, he was basically jobbing to like all the big names. He was jobbing to Seth, and I think he lost to Seth Rollins a couple times, and I forgot who else he fought. I think Cody Rhodes. He lost a couple times to Cody Rhodes. I can't remember the last time I saw him have a victory prior to this past SmackDown when he fought on, I think, Andrade. If I'm not mistaken, he fought Andrade this past SmackDown.
Yes.
Prior to that match against Andrade, I can't remember the last time I saw him have a victory. So he definitely needed something. So maybe that's why they put the title on him. But again, I say I'm conflicted because I don't think it was probably the right move for LA Knight's title run to end now. I don't know. I'm not sure if that was the right move. If I was the booker, I probably wouldn't have booked it that way. I don't hate this though. I think it's fine. Like you said, sometimes it's good to shake things up. So that's why I still gave it a half thumbs up.
All right. Vlad, the wrestling expert, what did you think of this booking here?
Yeah, I mean, I think Robert's made some good points on Nakamura's presentation. He's not coming out as like a spastic anymore during those gyrations. That's already a good sign. I think that's fair. I think the only way this really works, like Nakamura winning here, is if like LA Knight regains it at either the next PLE or at the main event. I don't know what they have planned, because I don't think Nakamura should be a long time U.S. champion. Like I think LA Knight should definitely get over in that feud down the line. That's the guy that they're really pushing, right? That's the guy that they're trying to make into a megastar or a superstar on the level of like whoever, right? All their main guys, right? But I agree with Kayon as well, as just like shaking up sometimes is and having surprise winners isn't the worst thing. It definitely should happen from time to time. I just don't know if Nakamura would be my first, second, or third choice as the guy that would do it. But there's something to be said about his new look and the match. You're right, it wasn't bad. Like, it was probably one of his better matches that I've seen in a while. I mean, his previous matches have all been, usually like some sort of like no DQ, last man standing type matches prior to him coming back and all that stuff that he had with like Seth and Cody and all that stuff. So, I mean, he does look a little bit better, and the work was pretty solid. But the only way this works is if LA Knight regains, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and that'll probably happen. So, all right, if that happens, Vlad is okay with this. All right.
Yes, I'm okay with this.
Along. All right. Sorry. All right, I'm losing my voice now. We've been on for an hour and a half. I'm sorry, guys. But we had a lot to talk about. I'm going to cut clips, and the show is really coming along, man. I got to remind people to subscribe. I like how the show is sounding lately, and I think we're at 400 and something subscribers, which is pretty nice. 440 something. Can't believe it. I would have never guessed a year ago that we would have come this far. But we like to thank our subscribers, people who watch us, anybody who watches us. We enjoy doing it. But if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit like and subscribe, because you've got to hear the Malapert Smark Podcast. We are the premier wrestling review podcast on the internet. Weekly reviews of all the modern wrestling. We're going to go back and review some old wrestling too when we get a chance. But for right now, if there's anything on this podcast that you haven't, we didn't talk about, that you want to find out what we thought of from the week, you can go to our review posts, which are also in the description of this video or in our channel. You go to the posts or community tab, and every angle from American television, from Raw, NXT, Dynamite, Ring of Honor, Impact, Smackdown, Rampage, Collision, and any PLE or pay-per-view they might be, also from any of the major companies in America. We got reviews for it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, and then we got Vlad and Robert here every Sunday if they can make it. And I think that's it. Anything else I got to remind the people of, Vlad, or what?
No, I was only going to say I was surprised you didn't mention, as one of your honorable mentions, Camille and quitting being the bodyguard for Mercedes. I thought that would have been a much. I mean, if you're going to mention R-Truth and Butch, I think at least Camille quitting is a little bit more significant.
Well, it was such a bad scene. I mean, I think we should. Maybe you're right. We should have mentioned it just as a conclusion, because we followed that whole program to the very end with Mercedes feuding with Statlander and all that. So I guess, but it was just such a dud ending. Like, they just abandoned it. They're like, you know what? I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm leaving. She should leave AEW and never.
It was very. Yeah, I think we're just discussing how strange her booking was. I think is worth mentioning. Just like how they treated her as kind of like a flunky when she was supposed to be like a badass bodyguard defending like the smaller champion.
That was really the only idea they had for her. They're like, hey, you want to be on the show? This is what we got. Like, all right.
Yeah, very odd, because she's like, right, she's such, she's tall and strong, and I don't know about her work. Maybe some of you guys have seen some of her matches elsewhere. I don't know. I haven't, that I can think of. But man, they really seem to hate her based on her booking, right? Like, what did she do to?
Is that what you want them to do with Ricky Starks, Robert? You want them to put him on the show? They should do that. They should just bury him like Vince McMahon would. Like, oh, you're leaving, huh? We're going to make you leave every day. Make him look like Camille.
I don't want him to be buried. Why would I want that?
Shit. Well, because you're like, why doesn't he use him?
But real quick, but
but by using him, I don't mean like use him just to get buried. Like, because we see star potential in him, so I don't want to see him get buried.
All right. Well, that was a discussion we had earlier on Ricky Starks. Vlad, last thing. Did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, do you think in Tony Khan's mind, the thing with Camille, he thinks now because she left Mercedes, like somehow that's going to get her over. In his mind, this is like a way to like make her babyface, and now he's going to do something. I don't know.
Maybe.
To me, it seems crazy, like the way they've done this, but maybe that's what Tony has in mind. Like he's going to try to push her. I don't know. Again, we can only guess.
This is gonna get her the crowd behind her. The fact that she finally turned on Mercedes.